It's a splendid afternoon in Vienna, and we're presently in Volksgarten, literally translated the People's Garden, Vienna's first park, which was opened to the public in 1823. And the neoclassical marvel to my left-hand side is the so-called Temple of Theseus, which was built between 1819 and 1823, according to plans of court architect Peter von Nobile. Now, as some of you may remember, Theseus made quite a name for himself in the ancient world for killing, slaying a number of mythological creatures, among which was also the famous Minotaur, a creature half bull, half man, who lived in a labyrinth on the island of Crete. Thousands of years after Theseus and the Minotaur, present-day citizenship proceedings, particularly in Vienna, can be just as confusing and difficult to navigate for many applicants. Week after week, we receive calls from applicants who filed their applications a year ago, 2 years ago, sometimes even 3, 4 or 5 years ago. Over the last few years, all sorts of myths and urban legends have developed around Viennese citizenship proceedings, and we think it's high time we dismantled some of them. A few years ago, Municipal Department 35, or short MD 35 in German MA 35, the Viennese Citizenship Authority started scheduling preparatory meetings for applicants who envisage to file an application for citizenship. Now, these preparatory meetings may be helpful for applicants who are completely clueless. But if you're represented by counsel, there's no need for such a preparatory meeting. When applicants ask for preparatory meetings, they only get the actual meeting 6 to 9 months later. And this has added a lot of time to already quite lengthy citizenship proceedings in Vienna. There is no need to wait for a filing appointment for 6, 9, or even more months either. Now, the citizenship authorities are free not to accept walk-ins, and they may tell you that they're busy next Wednesday when you would like to file the application, but a few weeks delay with accepting your application is the maximum. As strange as it may seem at first glance, you are under no obligation to submit all the documents the Citizenship Authority in Vienna requests, because our experience shows that some of the document requests are, quite frankly speaking, excessive. To mention but one example, it goes without saying that the Citizenship Authority has to check that there is a particular margin between your fixed and regular income on the one hand side and your fixed and regular expenses on the other hand. But what is important to bear in mind is that the authority only has to establish the material truth, facts that are material to your case, not every tiny detail. So if you have a great salary, 6, 7, 8,000 euros net, and you easily meet all the financial requirements, the authorities must not deny you citizenship because you failed to produce last year's invoice from the chimney sweep for the house you own. This equally applies to a scenario in which you ask for citizenship after 6 years of lawful stay in Austria rather than the regular 10-year period. What we see very often is that citizenship officers do not read the application properly, and by default they ask you for proof of financial status, health insurance coverage and other documents for the full 10-year period. There is absolutely no need for you to wait for your decision for 9, 12, 15, 18 months or longer. You may have heard it when you filed your application. Well, these proceedings usually take a year, or very often 2, but constant repetition doesn't make a wrong right. Under the Austrian Act on Administrative Procedure, Austrian authorities are obliged to process applications as expeditiously as possible, and the maximum processing deadline is 6 months. Should any authority, particularly a citizenship authority, fall short of that standard, you have the right to file a complaint for delayed processing to the administrative court, in our case, to the Vienna Administrative Court. Once you filed a complaint for delayed processing, the first instance authority, MA 35, has up to 3 months to take a decision or to forward the application package to the court for final decision. At court level, a judge will take a look at your file, and in contrast to MA 35, they meticulously stick to the 6 months processing deadline. If you have come across similar urban legends surrounding Viennese citizenship proceedings, feel free to share them with us. And if you're stuck and want to get things done in your citizenship proceedings, reach out to us. EOS, when it really matters.